Back in spring, Vivian gave me her Stephanotis, or Madagascar jasmine plant, to take care of because it wasn't flowering for her. And today I've got my first 3 blooms out. Let's have a look at them. They're in here. There they are up here. Really, really nice. And I have more flowers coming behind there. A few flowers over here. So very exciting. And they smell beautiful. It just fills the whole greenhouse here with this beautiful fragrance. Ah, so nice. So there it is. Just awesome.
Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to be working on my Portulacaria afra forest. The trees in this forest are styled to look like the giant African baobabs. I've been letting these trees grow long and bushy all summer to thicken up the trunks to get that baobab look to them. And today I'm going to prune them back. I've been letting this forest grow out to thicken up those trunks, and there comes a point where you do have to prune it. And I've been thinking, should I let it grow to the end of summer to get the maximum growth for the entire summer? If I had unlimited space, I might go that option, but I don't. I have to bring this forest in fall, and I would have to prune it back. It's just getting too large. If I were to let it grow all summer and then prune it back before I brought it into the plant room, all the new leaves and foliage that comes in would be quite large because it's grown indoors. So I want to prune it now, kind of middle of summer, and then the new leaves will come in. They'll be outdoor leaves, so they'll be small, compact, and tight growth on it. And I think it'll help it back bud also. So that's why I'm doing it midsummer instead of, growing the forest for the entire summer and then pruning it back in fall. A mature giant African baobab has a very distinct shape to it, has a great big thick trunk on it. The branches start off really thick and they taper quickly. They call it the upside down tree because it looks like a root base that was in the ground and you just turned it upside down. So kind of flat or roundish on top, kind of a spreading canopy and very highly tapered branches. The Portulacaria afra is a succulent tree or bush. It can go for long periods of time without water, so it's a good tree. If you go on vacation, you can just water it. Go on vacation for a couple of weeks, come back and the tree will be fine. I haven't watered my forest today, and it does need watering. And even though I'm going to be reducing the canopies back quite far, I still think the soil will dry out by the end of the day. So I'm going to give it a watering now, and that'll be my watering for today on it. If this was a jade forest, and I'm pruning all the foliage off or reducing it down in height, I probably wouldn't water it. I'd keep it on the dry side. All right, here I go with the water. When you do water your succulents, you want to give them a good, thorough, deep water, not just on the surface. Otherwise, the roots that are deep down in the pot will dry out and die. So you've got to give it a good, thorough soaking. Tip the pot up to drain as much water out as you can, and then just leave it until it dries out once again. All right, that's a good watering. To make the trunk look thicker on a bonsai, it's all about the proportions, the diameter of the trunk versus the height of the trunk. The shorter you make the tree, the thicker the trunk looks.
The taller the tree, the skinnier the trunk looks, even though they're the same diameter. It's all about proportion. So I'm going to try and make this tree, the first tree or the main tree in the forest here, as short as possible, still maintaining as much structure as I can. I don't want to just do a hard prune right at the base here. I want to keep as much branch structure as I can, the good branch structure. So I'll begin on the largest tree in the forest and the original tree. All the other plants in this forest are just cuttings off this one tree here. I've got a lot of tall vertical shoots on this tree that are quite thick. I'm going to reduce them back to some foliage or some side branching, have a look at it, and then I may even reduce it further. So I'm going to reduce everything in height first. So here I go. It's my top shoot there. So I have some branches in here, 2 side branches. This one I have a branch back here I'll prune back to. This one I can go back to here. So this is what I would call a rough pruning or an initial pruning. Then you go in and look at the trees and decide what you want to take back even further. Okay, here comes that big trunk. It's pretty thick. So I have 2 branches down low on that main trunk. You can see them here and here. So I'm going right down to that. I think I have another branch off to the side, but I think that's too high. So here I go. I'm going right back down to here, off of the top. So that's a big shoot. Out front here I have tall long branch here. So the tree is full of vigor now, so it should back bud quite well, recover quickly. That's the plan anyway. This is a fairly big tree. It has a large spreading crown on it. And I've got to keep it compact, otherwise it shades out the trees beside it. I also wanted to prune this before these long shoots start weeping, and then you start getting curves in your branch structure. This is a very kind of angular growth pattern on the tree, and then as it grows older, they tend to smooth out, which is natural on most trees. The kinks in the branches, the angular movement of the branches smooths out as the tree gets older. I was saying the main tree has quite a large crown. It comes right over to here, right over to here. Full width of the pot. It's quite large, so I've got to reduce it back. I've got to give the other trees some sunlight too. They call these the elephant bush. Elephants will come and they'll munch. All the leaves are edible. The elephants will come and remove all the foliage on the tree. They'll just eat away at it until it's just bare stumps, and then it grows in again. So these trees are used to this type of defoliation and hard pruning because elephants do it all the time. They bounce back very quickly, especially if they're vigorous and they have good growing conditions like now, which is summertime. I think I've got the main tree roughly pruned to shape. I'm thinking I can see the shape of the main tree fairly well, but these other trees are really long and bushy. I think I should do a general pruning to all the trees, getting them back in size, and then I can come in and make my decisions on the branches of the main tree. So I'll do that. I'll start pruning away all the other trees, getting them more compact. All right, I think I've got all the trees roughly pruned back now. Yeah, that'll do. Now I can prune up the main tree here. Here's a look at the forest now, and you can see even with just that rough pruning, the trees are already looking more compact and the trunk looks much thicker now. It stands out as being more powerful. I'm going to start pruning the main tree, a detailed pruning now. I'm going to start down low. I have a branch coming out the front that I want to keep kind of spreading and low, so I'm going to prune it off here, the tip off here. This back one, I can go back to here. think I want to get rid of this vertical one. Like that. There's some branches going back towards the inside of the tree, so I'm going to get rid of those. So I'll have to come in up here, take those right off. I want everything fanning out to give that upside down root appearance. I think I can take this branch even lower here to there. That hanging branch here I'm going to remove completely. I don't want hanging branches on my baobab. Shorten this one like that. Now there's a branch here that goes from this branch and it crosses this trunk line. I don't want that, so I'm going to prune it off short for now, and I may remove it entirely. So that's gone. So that kind of gets that front branch more compact. This one here coming straight up, I'm going to prune the vertical part off. I'm going to prune this one back. I'm going to see how compact I can get this growing tip here, at least to there. I think I'm going to have to go back and make this vertical shoot my leader on the branch. It's just too long here. It's starting to encroach on the other tree. So I got to keep these fairly compact. So I'm going to take it off here. Like that. That makes that branch more compact. The one behind, I have a vertical section going up here. We'll take off this part of it. There's a leaf under here. I could go back even further. I'd take some of my fine branching off, but I'd get the branch more compact. So I will. Here I go. Like that. Again, you know, pruning away ramification, but making the structure of the tree look better. I'll take this inside branch off. It's going in towards the center of the tree. Now the other branch that comes off of it here, I've got to prune that up. There's a stub here I can prune back. Like that. There's a branch going in towards the center of the tree. I'll get rid of that. Take that off. Take the tip off here, and I may go back further on these branches. So I have a leaf in here, so I'm going to take this whole top off. It's getting too tall here, so off it goes like that. Again, pruning away ramification, but trying to get a better structure. Now I've got this back branch. I'm going to shorten that. There's a branch coming out here, so I'm going to prune everything else off. Big cut. Here I go. Like that. So that has that branch kind of pruned up, quite compact. I may come back and do further pruning on it, but I think for now we'll go on to the other branches on the tree. I'm just cleaning up some stubs here. Well, I've got a section of this branch that it's got movement but no taper. And I'm after taper, high taper in these baobabs, you know, going from thick to thin very quickly. So I need to prune that back. And this will be a bit of a Hail Mary cut. So here I go. I'm going to take it back right to here. Here I go. Big cut there. Taking that off. Up top, I've got a vertical section here. Again, not much taper between these two sections, so I'm going to take it right back to here. Taking the top off. There's a branch that kind of crosses all the other trunk lines. It doesn't really fan out. I don't think I need it. I'm going to take it right off. Like that. So that's gone. I'm wondering on this branch, I've got it kind of coming up and then a vertical section. I wonder if I'd be better to prune it back to here. I think so. I'll take the top off like that. Now I've got one vertical section behind here, which I don't think I need. A big cut. I think I just want to develop this as the kind of apex of this section, and I would remove that this whole vertical section back there. I just don't think I need anything growing in that area. There's two trunk lines here that run parallel, right here and here. Now, I don't like that. I like everything to fan outwards, and yeah, I can't have two vertical trunk sections. So it's possible that both these may go, these vertical ones, and I'm left with everything fanning out. That's a possibility. Or I kind of like, there's a branch here that kind of fans outwards. So I could prune this trunk back and keep this branch, and maybe something else will develop that'll come out this way. So I'll do that. I'm going to prune it back to here for now. So here's a big cut. Done. How's that look? It looks more compact, that's for sure. Some hard pruning going on today. There may be more coming too. All right, so now I've got this branch coming off here, which has a vertical section here I can remove. Cut back like that. And I have a vertical section here I'll take right off like that. And then I'll want to reduce, I've got a chance of taper here. I have a little shoot there, so I'll take this one off. And I got nice taper on that branch. There's a few branches that kind of come off here. I'll prune them back. Just little ones. Like that. I may still be too tall in this area, but I'll keep working away on other sections and evaluate the styling as I get closer to the end. I'm still working on this trunk line, and I have a branch at the back here, quite a large one, that needs reducing also. So I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, it's quite large. It's getting very heavy. I have a branch off to the side here that I could take it right back if I wanted to. I certainly don't want it any higher than this apex here, so I'm going to take off this vertical section here, like that. Big cut. I'm going to take off this vertical section here, like that. There's a branch coming out here I'm going to reduce back. Okay. For now, I think that's got this section of the trunk line all pruned up, roughly anyway. So now I'm going to proceed to this trunk line. So it's quite tall. And I don't really, you know, if I have a rounded shape to the canopy or a flatter one, I don't mind it being kind of about this height, but this would have to be reduced, this branch back here. So I'm going to see where I can reduce this branch back. Well, I'm going to take the end off here. So here I go, like that. I'll take this one back in height, this one back to here, this one back to here. Then I've got a branch coming out the top, which I don't want. I'm going to take that off. I want to keep these trees fairly short. I think I want to take this stump off and develop this as the branch leader, so off it goes, like that. I'll take this one right back here, like that. This one can come back to here. Take this vertical part off. This one back, and maybe I'll have to take that further. There's one at the back I can prune back. It is quite possible I could take this whole vertical trunk line off, develop this as my branch leader. A distinct possibility. However, I'll prune up this back branch now. So this is sort of a triple trunk, and there's this back branch divides into two fairly early. So I've got a section out the side here that I'll prune up. So take that off to here. So there's a little stubby branch here, which is nice. And do I want to keep that? Do I want to just keep that as the branch leader and move everything up top? Maybe. I'm going to take this off here, this long end on the branch. For starters, I'll take the vertical section off here, like that, and then I'll reduce this back to here, like that. And I've got to take this branch off, like that. Now, does that look good? With these kind of two parallel lines here. Is that too high? I think it's okay. I think, you know, this height kind of matches the branches on this side. They're a little lower, but I think that's okay. Okay, so that gets that one branch here more compact. So now I've got to swing around to this back one. There's a huge, massive back branch here. There's a vertical section I can take off here. Like that. This area of the branch doesn't have a lot of taper. I'm going to hard prune it back to here. Like that. Take this vertical section off. This vertical part off. This vertical part off. This vertical part off. And then I want to reduce that back. I think back to here. Keeping just that one branch. Like that. That gets that branch kind of pruned up nice and compact. Nice spider. Prune this one back. Actually, I'll take this whole tip off. It's going back towards the center of the tree. Take that off. And I may prune that vertical part back. I will. Taking it right off, actually. Like that. So that gets that part of that branch pruned back. Now I've got a tall vertical section here. I've got a shoot growing in towards the center of the tree. I'll get rid of that. I'm going to have to do a hard prune on this one. Back to here. Here I go. Taking that whole top off. It's just get too tall. Now I've got a branch here. Very long. Not much taper in that section. Yeah, it's just going to have to come back to here. Here. Right here. Shortening it quite dramatically. So here I go. Off for the top. Wow. So that really got that main tree pruned back to size. Let's have a look at it from the front now and make more decisions. I'm looking at the tree from the front now, having a good look at it. I'm debating taking that vertical part off on this trunk line here. Just trying to see what it would look like. It's very vertical, that trunk, right from the base all the way up. I think it's got to come off. And I think the stub over on this side has to come off too. So I'll do that. Okay, here I go. I'm going to come in this way. All right, off with the top, like that. Wow, big cut. Okay, so that came off. Still looks good. I kind of like that. I think it looks better. I think that other stub I was going to take off here looks okay now. I still have the two parallel trunks coming up here, which kind of bugs me a bit. I am going to take that stump off. Here I go. Taking that middle stump off. Just like that. I like that much better. On the branch over here, there's a vertical section I think needs removing. I'll show you that and then I'll cut it off. So right here, I think that's just not needed. It doesn't kind of flow outwards. It kind of shoots straight up. So I'm going to take it off. Here I go. Like that. That's much better, but I think this branch is too long now, so I'm going to have to snip it back to here. Like that. Some hard pruning. Now I've got a little bit of confusion up in this apex. I got two kind of parallel branches. I think because, you know, this part comes forward here, I think I need to move the one closest to me and keep the far branch. You can kind of see it more in this view. So off it comes. Yeah, that cleans that up a bit. Now I could prune a bit off that apex there. It's a little tall, so I will. This one branch off to this side's a little confusing. I think I want to take the middle one out of there. This one here, and just keep the back one. So I will. Like that. Yeah, that simplifies it up, so there's only kind of one major trunk line. I think it's getting a little noisy in the neighborhood. This branch at the back, it kind of comes up and curves around, and there's quite a straight section there. I don't think I need that straight section. I think I'm going to prune it off short. So I will. Here I go. I think I'm going to take the vertical section off that little branch out front. Like that. And what else needs cleaning up here? I'm thinking about removing this one here. I've got a branch here, and this one kind of overhangs it. This way I'd keep the one coming forward and the one coming backwards. Trying to see what that would look like. Maybe. Tough decisions. Yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of that. So that is gone now. Yeah, I like that much better actually. Cleans that section up, simplifies it. This is the basic core of the tree that I'm kind of shaping up here. So you've got to make sure your basic core structure looks pretty good. I'm going to take this inner branch off up here. Now, do I take it back even further? Do I reduce those upper branches back to kind of here? It would give it a more of a baobab look to it. But it's a big decision. So that would kind of, make a crown on a tree about here. Making it quite small and compact. Tough decisions. Tough. In the past, I did reduce the entire tree back to this level. You can see there's actually a scar here where I did a hard prune. That was like one of my first videos. I never did regret that first really hard pruning on the tree. It came back beautifully. I was very happy. So if I hard prune today, I don't think I'll ever regret it either. Unless the tree dies, which is unlikely, especially in the summertime here. Okay, I'm going to... Should I just prune off the top off of here? I think so. All right, I'm going to do it. Oh my goodness, that was a big cut. Why do I do this to myself? I think I got to come back even further. That branch is getting quite woody near the core. Okay, well, I wonder if I should take that vertical branch right off. Oh my goodness, should I? Then I would have like this branch more forward and this other one would be backwards, which maybe not ideal. I'll leave it as it is now and see how it develops. I am going to have to reduce the top of the tree down a little more though. So here I go. Well, it's looking more baobab-like. That vertical trunk still bothers me. Okay, take this back further. Okay, that vertical trunk still bothers me on this side. I've got to shorten it. So I'm going to go back into old wood right back to here. See what happens. Okay, looking better. I'll take that back branch back a little further. Take that one back further here. Wow. I'm going to take the end of this branch off, the one here. Reducing that back. I'm going to reduce this tall branch back here too, both of those. Big cuts, big cuts. I'm going to have to take this vertical section off here too. I'm really getting down to a stump now. I think I'm going to stop there. It's down to a very thick stump. Gives me something to build up over the next upcoming years. Lots of branch development. I find that you have to do this about every 5 years, I guess. The tree, you develop your branches, it gets larger and larger. Starts to look more like a tropical tree. So you gotta hard prune it back to a stump and regrow the branches once again. And every time you do that, the trunk gets thicker, you get more taper, and the tree just looks better and better over the years. So if this is the largest tree in the forest, imagine what I'll be doing to the others. It'll be quite severe also. I'll go at it. I'll do the same procedure on all the other trees, reducing them back to kind of thick stumps. And then we'll just leave it alone and it'll grow all the new branches in. And hopefully, you know, over the years, they'll slowly look more and more like a baobab tree. Here's a look at the Portulacaria afra forest. Everything has been reduced to stumps. And I'm keeping in mind my long-term goal to make these trees look like baobab trees. So I've got to do this. I've got to reduce them to stumps every, you know, like I said, every 5 years or so. Regrow all the branches in, and then they slowly get larger and larger. More vigor, then I prune them back again. And repetition of this cycle will give me that look I want over many years. So I think once all the foliage starts growing in on all these trees, they'll look quite good again. I'll place it in full sun now, and I'll just let everything grow in. Again, keeping it out of the rain. I can see in the large tree here, kind of a baobab forming, merging. That thickness and the taper. So I've just got to keep doing this over the upcoming years, and I think I'll get that closer to that goal of that baobab look. Here's a look at some of the cuttings. There's some good woody ones.
I have some more succulents I'll be planting today, so I'll put my Portulacaria afra forest back on the bench in the full sun, and I'll start working on the next project. Quite some time ago, Andrew sent me these little tiny pencil cactus cuttings in the mail, and I planted them and they survived, which is amazing. They were pretty dried up looking when I got them in the mail. He also sent some of those little stone, I don't know what they're called, but they look like, there's some kind of a succulent. They look like a stone and they flower. He sent me those and I planted them, but they didn't make it. They kind of dried out. They never rooted, and so he sent me some more yesterday. So I'm really awesome. These make really good accent plants. You know, if you're displaying a succulent bonsai or a desert bonsai, you can put these as your accent plant. So I'll be planting these little stone plants today.
Here's a look at the little plants. They have a little root on the end, and each one is slightly different. They're really cool. I bought these little Japanese pots at a pot sale, the one in Guelph, if anyone remembers that video from a long time ago. I do have a playlist called Bonsai Pots that you can check it out on. Yeah, really nice little pots. Here's another one. That one's got a chop in it. Really nice recessed bottom, nice feet. Beautifully made. This one is just exceptional. Couldn't get a better pot than that. So I'm going to finally use these little pots to plant these stone succulents in. I found another few pots. I've got this sort of cascade one, which is Japanese. I've got this one, which also has a chop in the bottom. I think that's a Japanese one too. And the little tiny one that Tom sent me from Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. So I'll try and plant them all if I have enough plants. I think I do. I'm going to put drainage screens in the bottom of all the pots. Just like that. These are all these reddish kind. I'll put those in this pot. Another one here. Like that. And then I'll put a little bit of soil in there. Maybe those other two are a little low. I don't know. I'll pull them up after. Put some soil in. Like that. Then I can find my ones. I need the tweezers in here. Okay, and I'll just pull it up a little. Andrew's probably watching this going, what the heck is he doing? He doesn't know how to plant these. I think that's good. I think that's one done. It's got 3 in there. I think it looks really good. Next, I'm going to plant Tom's little pot here. I'm going to put these in the greenhouse where it'll be hot and humid. I'll just kind of mist them. A bit of mist in the morning, a bit of mist at night, and that'll simulate the natural dew that they would get. Okay, I think that one is planted okay. Yep, look at that. Cute. That is one small pot. Next, I'm going to plant the large container. I may not use the others, I think. Okay, they're all planted. I don't think I have any buried. I'm going to add a little soil around this area. I think it's looking really good. It's nice to be able to use these little pots. I mean, you could fit a nice bonsai in here too, but you'd have to really keep up on your watering and misting. Whereas these plants are ideal for these small containers. They can take a bit of drought. I've got all the succulents planted here. I'm going to give them a light misting and then put them in the greenhouse. So here I go with the water. I think that'll do. Well, there I am. I've got them planted. It's nice to have something so small. Look at that. Fits in the palm of my hand. They're looking really good. I think they've greened up since I started working out here. Maybe it's the sunlight hitting them. All right, into the greenhouse they go now. Let's go into the greenhouse now and have a look. Here's the section with Andrew's plants here. Very cool. The little tiny pencil cactus. The little stone succulents. They're very colorful. I swear they've gotten more colorful since I planted them. Maybe that little bit of moisture and the sunlight Yeah, they look really, really cool. So we'll keep updates on them, see how they do in the future. So thanks very much, Andrew. That's wonderful to get those.
Some very heavy-duty cutting to my Portulacaria afra forest today. We'll just have to wait and see how it all grows in. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.